Good evening and welcome to St Matthew's Church right in the very heart of New Norfolk in the beautiful Derwent Valley, where tonight we're together with the St Matthew's Singers to bring you some wonderful Christmas cheer and Christmas carols, because this year really has been a bit of a challenge for everyone. We're in this wonderful church that's almost 200 years old with a great group of singers under the direction of Susan Reppion-Brooke and accompanied by Elizabeth Rockliff. Tonight we will bring you carols, both traditional and more modern carols for your enjoyment. If you haven't got the songbook and you want to sing along at home, you can download it from the Derwent Valley Council's website, and that's easy to find on your computer, and we'll be letting you know what to sing along and what page to go to, so you won't have to do too much thinking about it. Our first carol tonight is a classic carol, Once in Royal David City. Now, this carol usually starts with a solo, but because this is such a special evening, we're going to start with a few solos. So we'll have a few soloists singing, and we'll start it off, and then once we get into it, you can join along and sing your hearts out at home. So here we go with our first carol for the evening, Once in Royal David City. Well, we hope you enjoyed our first offering tonight. We've got many more to come, and our second carol this evening is Joy to the World, and that's something that I think we're all hoping for over this Christmas period and into the new year. We have battled on through a fairly tough 2020, but we're hoping that 2021 brings lots of joy to the world. Now, if you're listening in and enjoying tonight's music, you might wonder what the secret is. Well, the St Matthew's Singers is a community group of people made up of a diverse range of ages. We start with people in their 10s and we finish with people in their 90s. So it's very hard to tell looking around the singers tonight as you watch who's in what age group. So it's not about the age of the singers, it's about the beautiful voices, and they combine, and I'm sure you'll agree that that was a tremendous carol. Our next carol, O Little Town of Bethlehem, is about where it all began, the Christmas tradition, and it's more of a romantic type tune. It's we'll be mixing in with some upbeat numbers and some nice traditional carols, and this is one of the more traditional carols, O Little Town of Bethlehem. Our next carol this evening really needs little introduction, but it's one of the classic sing-along songs, and it's so classic that we're going to sing along twice tonight. It's the story of an outcast deer who had a little bit of an interesting physical addition, and after he was laughed and called names, he came on to be the great hero of Christmas. So we all know that you probably don't even need the songbooks tonight to sing along with the St Matthew's singers, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now everyone's fairly upbeat, I'm sure, and jumping out of their chairs, so we're going to give you some time now to settle back and listen to an absolute classic Christmas carol. And this was written by John Francis Wade in the 18th century, and it was first written in Latin, but we're not going to do that to you. We've got the English version, and if you'd like to sing along with us, it's in your songbook, and it's the beautiful "O Come All Ye Faithful." next carol is an Australian carol, and it was first released in 1948 as part of an original publication called Five Australian Carols, written by William James and the lyrics by John Wheeler. The majority of us are not aware of the origins of this and only know the carol itself as many of the familiar carols sung at Christmas every year. It's sometimes known as Orana, but its title is Carol of the Birds. We're going back now to a more traditional carol, written in 1956 as a Christmas song by Jester Harrison. It was widely performed as a Christmas carol. Some may remember that Harry Belafonte sought permission and recorded this as a song in 1956 and released a single that year. The song is Mary's Boy Child.
Mary
Now, I've had some reports coming in from Sandra's little helper that says the sound at home is excellent. The quality is very good and the singing's fantastic. So that's good news. It sounds pretty good in here, let me tell you. Our next carol is a classic, and it's probably for many people the very first carol we ever sang. It's Away in a Manger, and the first verse of the carol will be sung by our younger members. And so excellent sound. You're going to get absolutely 100% top-notch sound. Away in a Manger. Our next carol is another Australian carol. This was also written by William James. It's called The North Wind. Some may know it as Christmas Day. It's a lovely carol, and I think it's particularly appropriate because it talks about things we see and do with a typical Australian Christmas. So now the choir will sing The North Wind.
Brown.
We all know the Christmas story fairly well, and we had Away in a Manger about the very first Christmas night, and now the next carol is about the kings who visited that stable. So our choir will now sing to us, and of course follow on at home in your book, if you have your book out, We Three Kings of Orient Are. St Matthew's Singers' next carol will be one of the classic carols. I think we all want peace at Christmas time, and I think this next carol is probably one of the most peaceful carols that we sing at Christmas, Silent Night.
Round your
next carol is a really uplifting carol. It's full of energy, and I know that the St Matthew's singers will give it lift to a whole new level. Our next carol is Hark, the Herald Angels Sing. Well, I trust you're all feeling pretty uplifted. That was magnificent, and we're going to keep lifting you up. We've got one of the probably less heavy Christmas carols. It's a great fun Christmas carol, and if you're at home, get out your bells and your shakers and your car keys, whatever you've got that makes a jingling sound, because we want to have really good audience participation in this next one. It's probably not hard to guess, but our next carol is Jingle Bells.
Laughing all the way, bells on bobtails ring.
So we know you're all up and ready now, ready for the next one. The next carol will be our final carol, and before we do let the singers take us out with the final carol, there are a few people that we should thank for bringing tonight's performance together, and we hope everyone watching at home have enjoyed it as much as St Matthew's singers have enjoyed bringing it to your home, because I could see watching the faces tonight that everyone was pretty happy to be here in this wonderful church building singing along with you at home. And we should thank St Matthew's Church for allowing us to use this wonderful, wonderful building, almost 200 years old, and it's probably not sounded as good as it has tonight, although the choir does do other performances that sound pretty good too. So the St Matthew's Singers, of course, the wonderful director of St Matthew's Singers, Susan Reppion-Brooke, who has trained these wonderful people from all walks of life. We've got brewers and doctors and electronics technicians and school teachers and such a wide range of people that make this wonderful noise. And it's done by Susan and accompanied by Elizabeth Rockliff, who sits over the back with the keyboards, and it's done for the love of music, for the love of community. So we're very fortunate here to have such great people that do this. We should also thank Beck Tudor and the Derwent Valley Council for sponsoring this program, and Alive Technologies, who have used their clever bits and pieces to bring it into your living room or wherever you're watching it on your portable device. So thank you very much from St Matthew's Church. We'll be taking you out now with our very last carol for this evening, and it's appropriate, and we want you all to sing along very loudly with this one. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Thank you.